Internet, and welcome to SonyCentric, the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast. I'm your host, Jason Kwasnicki, and I'm joined here today by the awesome Mark Sullivan.
Ooh, hi.
And we are joined today by senior editor Clinton Bowman.
Happy Pokemon Day, guys! That's a thing that's happening right now as I talk PlayStation while playing Pokemon Omega Ruby and breeding Pokemon. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah.
Catching all the Pokemons.
Yo, man, them Pikachus. Okay, so it's been a few weeks, guys. It's been a few busy weeks, but we're back. We're back in number. Actually, we're not back in number. We're down one.
Than ever.
Yeah, Bowman over here is getting over a case of the flu.
Yeah.
And Mark here. Mark, is your arm fixed yet?
I fractured my hand.
You fractured your hand?
In January, yeah.
Yo,
So-
too much gaming, son. Yo, Final Fantasy 14, the devil, son.
I just couldn't stop. Broke it.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Fortunately, not too much has happened in those few weeks, but a little bit happened. So we're going to be touching on stuff that happened over the course of the 2 weeks, kind of in a abbreviated sense. First up, we're going to be talking about PSVR. So,
I'm kidding, though. I'm kidding.
yo, man, it's the future, okay?
Future dab. Anyways.
Yo, Skynet taking over via PSVR.
Oh, God, that'd be terrible.
So, there's kind of been a chain of events. I think let's all just say, just to get it out of the way, we all assume that this thing was coming out in fall, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a logical progression of life.
I mean, that's when big companies, big publishers out their best products to get them to sell, during the holiday season. Yeah,
And to be
I
fair,
think the safest assumption was it was going to come out in the fall.
And to be
Right.
fair, every other VR system is coming out either in the fall or, later on,
Exactly. So, this GameStop executive, started talking about having PlayStation VR, this was last week, having PlayStation VR units on shelves by the fall. And this was kind of taken as big news. Granted, obviously, this is kind of one of the first forms of actual confirmation, I guess you could call it. But it's something everybody kind of assumed. It's, like you said, Clinton, that's logical. And then, shortly after that, Sony announced Sony didn't announce it. The press kind of broke that various outlets had received invites to an invite-only event being held by Sony that's going to be PSVR heavy. And folks are starting to assume that we're going to be getting a release date, an official release date, but more importantly, pricing specs soon. That is March 15th.
That's going to definitely be a lot of information being thrown around, but I doubt a release date will be thrown around there, or at least if it is thrown around, expect Kotaku to kind of spoil that. All jokes aside, though, expect the release date to come closer to E3 or something.
Really? You think that late?
Yeah, I mean, I that's how I see it.
I think they'll drop it probably during their conference.
Yeah.
What, during E3 or during the press?
If anything,
During E3.
Yeah, they'll probably drop it during E3 because honestly, by putting a release date out through press, by a locked press event, that the hype kind of gets killed, and now Sony has nothing for E3.
well, no, obviously the press are going to be able to put out the information at the event.
Yeah, but like I said, if there's a date announcement at that press event, it kind of kills the hype. It's kind of like what they did. It's kind of like what they did with the PlayStation 4 when they announced the controller, and it was like, okay, and now keep in mind, you guys still have an ace up your sleeve, and I guarantee you the date announcement will be the ace up the sleeve. You will hear PlayStation go and say, hey, at E3, PlayStation VR is officially going to come out at $599 US on November the 19th, 2017, or whatever the case may be, or whatever the date may be. I'm just throwing out random numbers.
I actually think what will happen is I think we will get a date at this press event, but I think the price will be held until E3.
Yeah, and if they want to stay competitive, I mean, take a look at Oculus Rift, which is $600, and take a look at the HTC Vive, which is the HTC Vive is I want to say $700. if you pre-order the Samsung Galaxy S7, the Samsung VR comes with it free. So you're looking at 4 different VR products out at the same time. Google's VR is pretty much a box of cardboard, So, yeah, am I wrong?
No.
Like, it's pretty much a box of cardboard you can put together. So, you're looking at 4 or 5 VR things. If Sony, I'm going to make a bold prediction right now, and if Sony wants to remain competitive, I'd price it at $400.
Well,
I agree.
Hasn't Sony said that they don't want to price it more than the PS4? Like, haven't they gone on record saying that?
Yeah, but then also, I feel like they're going on record saying that, but also they've gone on record saying a lot of things.
Everybody's gone on record saying a lot of things.
A lot of things. Everybody says a lot of things. Like, we could sit down here and say, oh, well, Sony, we have no interest in creating an Elite controller. Next thing you hear at E3, Elite controller.
Right. I hope so, but
so those are things that you gotta hold with a grain of salt and really think about. Hey, is this a possibility? Is this a real thing that's gonna come? Will it be competitively priced? Will it be, because what's the PlayStation 4 price right now? What, $350?
Yeah, some $350, $399.
$350 or $399. So you're looking at a possibility of a price of $300 for that PlayStation VR, or if they decide to stay competitive but stay profitable, because honestly, I don't see them being too profitable with this.
No, not in the beginning.
Not in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because VR is still too new. It's still too new of a technology.
Exactly. It's going to be all early adopters for like the first year.
And on top of that, let's be honest, we all remember what happened the last time VR became a thing. Nintendo failed miserably.
Another little twist getting thrown in here. This is just news that broke earlier today. Sony apparently filed a patent, and this was all the way back in 2014 that the patent was filed. However, the patent was not publicly published until earlier today, and it was picked up on NeoGAF, and now it's kind of making the rounds around various outlets. The patent was for some sort of glove-based controller that is meant to be used in conjunction with VR.
Yo, shouts out to the return of the Power Glove.
Yeah.
I don't know if you also saw there was a leaked trailer for a new movie. It looks like a sequel to The Wizard, only it's entirely sponsoring Sony products this time. I'm kidding. That totally didn't happen.
Yo, if that actually did happen, I would have bro.
Yeah,
like,
so
what are they gonna call it? The Warlock? Like
the Warlock.
No, for all we know, this patent could have been just an idea they were throwing around at the time. It doesn't necessarily mean this will be part of their VR focus. Of course, many people out there probably hoping that they'll be able to use this glove in various ways in conjunction with the porn we've been hearing about coming out for VR. But what do you guys make of this? If this is true, do you think this is possibly one of the reasons we haven't heard all that much about VR aside from
3D masturbation? What?
So I'm thinking maybe, and I'm thinking having some sort of accessory for your hand makes sense. Kind of wishful thinking, but I hope it's in the box with PSVR. Although I do highly doubt that.
But VR is to the point right now, and I'll be honest, should be to the point right now where you can do it. Like, I've seen it done without gloves. You can do it with your hand straight out. I think Oculus Rift does that. So why a glove controller?
Right.
No, that's a question.
Maybe some sort of, maybe they have something up their sleeve, like innovation-wise, that we haven't seen much of PSVR to begin with, so
right.
Maybe that's what they have to show.
It's going to be totally another Nintendo Wii thing. Okay. The wonderful... oh, God, I hate that you referenced that. Oh. The Sega Pico was actually pretty good, too, but still.
Well, I think we can all agree that hopefully, unless there's some really cool, really unique idea, and it's not kind of made a core part of the platform like the Wiimote was, I really hope the glove isn't a huge part of this.
If I could reenact the Dave Chappelle skit with Wayne Brady with that glove, I'll be happy.
So, some other news coming out this week. Yo, man, Naughty Dog just straight up aping Assassin's Creed artwork, man, for that trailer. What the hell's with that?
It was an accident. They apologized. I accept it. Nah, what's good with that? Like, yeah, it's a good question though. Like, what was going through their mind with that?
I don't know.
Were they trolling? How hard were they trolling?
I don't know. I don't know if they were trolling or if it was just a complete accident. Honestly, I probably like the artist, because wasn't it like an artist that works at Naughty Dog that used to work for Ubisoft or something? He probably like fucked up with one of his files and just happened to have Assassin's Creed artwork just laying around. Like, but as for the actual trailer, you guys watched it, right?
Yeah, let's talk about the actual trailer.
Yeah, that trailer was fucking dark, man. Even like
Nathan Drake dies.
Yeah, I know. With Drake's deception, like the tone kind of shifted down a little bit, but it still maintained kind of this adventurous theme going throughout. But like, this was just dark.
I'm gonna say it one more time. Nathan Drake dies. Nathan Drake dies. Nathan Drake dies. Nathan Drake
God,
dies.
no.
I'm sticking by Elena dying, but that's just me.
I'm sticking by Sully dying. Oh, but something I did want to point out, and if you haven't listened to our first episode of SonyCentric, we made a bunch of predictions about what might happen in Uncharted 4. So you should go listen to that.
Plugs.
Plugs.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna change my prediction, and we're totally gonna get a Killing Joke reference, where some female character is gonna be permanently crippled.
Oh, jeez.
Actually, that's a good synthesis of my prediction and like your guys' predictions. That's a good middle ground.
Yeah, Elena's gonna become Oracle, and she'll be like the genius behind Nathan Drake's, thieveries that is gonna start coming up. Nathan Drake will stop doing treasure hunting and will totally become a thief, and it will be totally become Charted 5. Not Uncharted, but Charted.
Well, real quick, back to what I wanted to say. In the trailer, you did kind of like I had said that I was pretty sure that Sam and Sully were gonna be butting heads a lot in this game, and I feel like we kind of saw that in the trailer.
Yeah, definitely.
Where Sully was trying to tell him, he's out of the game, and Sam was trying to convince him otherwise.
Like, what you talk about, son? You in the game? You still in the game? This is a game. This whole life is a game.
Well, like, it just gave me the satisfaction of saying, oh, I'm still gonna be right.
You feeling yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting also to see how integral it looks like his brother is going to be. I didn't realize Sam.
Well,
I knew he would be.
I hope so. They're introducing a whole new character in the last game.
Like, I knew he would be a big character, but it looks like he's going to have an even bigger role in this than Elena or Sully.
Right.
Also, do we think we're going to get the return of young Drake? Or is that only going to be flashback cutscenes?
It'll probably be a flashback cutscene, but if it is a return of the Mac, that'd be great. Return of the Mac.
Because that was probably like one of the biggest surprises. One of the biggest pleasant surprises about Uncharted 3 was suddenly I'm playing as young Drake, like kid Drake.
Honestly, I can see like isn't Naughty Dog kind of pushing this as the final game?
They've been saying
their final game, yeah.
It's his final, Nathan Drake's final.
It's the outing. Final countdown. You ain't never think a black man from the hood can make references like that? I just did.
Europe, man, Europe.
Yup. So that being said,
country or continent.
It's the band, man. It's the band that sings the song.
I know. God.
No, but it should be fun. It'll be fun. Uncharted does come out April 22nd. If I remember correct. 26th?
Yeah.
I was off by, 4 days? Like...
Yeah.
So
hey,
you were probably thinking PAX East, dude.
That's right! Because PAX East is right before that.
Yeah, that's going to be a hellish 2 weeks.
And an Indiecade is right after that, so it's like...
Right.
But that being said, Jason, anything else on the docket?
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before the show. The PS Plus lineup is a little disappointing this month. I think we all kind of agree on that. We got, what is it, Galaxies, and is it called Broforce?
The Broforce was the winner of the vote. I think that's a great initiative, but I think that this campaign, in comparison to the last campaign, definitely paled.
No, I hate it largely because Sony could position it any way they want, and there's nothing we can do about it. They could be like, "Oh, we want to push this game, so let's put these other games that nobody knows about and totally push this game." You know, as that's how I feel this year, this past Vote to Win was. Where I knew about Assault Android Cactus because Keith reviewed the PC version. I got to play the PC version at his house. It's a fun game. A lot of people don't really know about that. More people know about Broforce because Broforce got like Expendables tie-ins and a whole bunch of other stuff. And Broforce is mindless action. So, you know, people sit down, they know about Broforce. You know, so that kind of was kind of like, I'm not trying to be the tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, but I feel like this was kind of rigged in a way.
Well, I almost want to reserve judgment on this until we get maybe another campaign. Just because, I don't know, we've only had 2 so far.
And none of the campaigns have featured anything really, like, big, anything really of the zeitgeist, right? Am I wrong about that?
I mean, where's the AAA games? You know what I'm saying?
Well, AAA, I don't think we're gonna see for a little while.
At least AA. Like,
yeah, that's what I meant. AA.
Yeah, I mean, AAA games. I mean, if we can see like a Vote to Win between like Assassin's Creed and Uncharted, like, dude, that would be sick.
I think the reason for that is like the whole point of this whole entire campaign, when these campaigns happen, is to push new and upcoming indie games.
And no, it's true.
All of the games hadn't been released yet on PS4.
Right. But honestly, like Broforce, I have Broforce on my PC. Like, for me, it's like, what's the point? Shit, I got Broforce for free. Like, what's the point?
I was the same way with Helldivers. Like, you know, going back to Rocket League. Rocket League was a success for everybody involved. And, you know, yes, there was a bit of a risk there. Sony paid out money to, what's the dev behind Rocket League? Slipping my mind.
Psionic,
yeah.
Well, then again, Rocket League, the predecessor to Rocket League was on a PlayStation console anyway, so...
Super acrobatic,
but that's besides the point, though. I mean, my point is simply, like, Helldivers, that could have easily been released in the same manner, where it's like, you know, give those guys money, put it out for free for PS Plus users. You know, I bought that game anyway when it first came out, but now it's coming out almost like a year later, you know?
Yeah. Like, maybe I should go download that, like, now. Like, but... Like, how big is that game again?
5 gigs?
Yeah, it's not... It's kind of somewhere in the middle.
If you have people to play with, it is tons of them.
Even playing solo, I have a ton of fun with that game. It's just... It's Starship Troopers, the game.
And, there have been so many times where I've been playing with some friends, and they'll go to do something that they think is helping, and they'll call in some sort of tank or a turret, and I won't be paying attention, and it drops down and kills me, and we just all start laughing, and it's so much fun, and you can get so much humor out. It's by the same devs that made Magicka, and if you ever played Magicka,
Magicka was a dope game.
The same way. You're just mixing spells together, and you accidentally kill your buddy, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah, we're not trying to shit on like games like Helldivers that come out on PS Plus right now. I think we're all getting at is, you know, the first year of PS4, it was a bit understandable why maybe the PS Plus lineup might have been lacking, but we're a couple years in now, and I think we all feel that, you know, Sony could kick up that game a little bit.
Of course,
I feel like at the same time, long-time PS Plus members, like we remember before PS4 launched, and we just had it on PS3. We were getting games like Hitman Absolution.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Sleeping Dogs.
Dude, I remember picking up. I remember picking up. What was it? Right after the NBA Finals in 2014, I picked up NBA 2K14 for free on PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I think I even have that on my library, even though I don't play sports games. But like, what I'm getting at here is like they've even stopped doing that with PS3 games and with the PS3, and PS3 isn't really it's not their primary system anymore. I feel like longtime PS Plus members might feel a little entitled just because they used to get better offers.
Right.
The same, I don't know. At the same time, I kind of get it. people want more bang for their buck.
Is that really like a bad thing though?
No,
No,
it's not.
bang.
It's not. But at the same time, like, what kind of games would we want them to put on PS4, PS Plus?
Like, I mean, there is, but honestly, can I be honest with you? Is there any games out for PS4? That's the question, you know?
Well,
I think
start putting launch titles on there. I feel these are relatively cheap all year round.
Yeah.
Launch titles, and I guess this is one of the problems is that the PlayStation 3 had a pretty extensive PS1 and PS2 classics that you would see occasionally on there as well.
Yeah,
I think
really early though. They stopped doing that.
They did stop doing that, but it would be nice to see that kind of stuff. I mean, granted, obviously, right now one of the big issues is that entire library got dumped for the PS4. But it would be nice if, as we see the PS2 classics, which, by the way, they kind of just stopped pushing out PS2 classics, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, like, because
hopefully
people are not wanting to buy. People are not wanting to buy games twice, and that's the thing. Granted, there's some
I think
games.
they just need to start bringing over games that maybe they haven't already put on PS3. Like, was Parappa the Rapid 2 on PS3?
No.
That was the first time it came to do.
Yeah, that was the first time it came out. But then, in the same respect, I mean, you look at a game like what game am I thinking of? Like games that people like want, like CVS, like Capcom vs SNK 2.
Okay.
Right.
You know, that's a game people ain't gonna want to pay twice for that. But if you can bring that game back without the lag that the PS3 version had, great.
Oh, I kind of just want to get a few of those games. Like, they're bringing Psychonauts over. I want to get Psychonauts just so I can get trophies for it, because I desperately want to replay Psychonauts.
Oh yeah.
See, that's from what I've heard, on forums and stuff from devs. That's one of the. I mean, I'm sure there are other motivations, like you said, Clinton, the economic motivations. But one of the problems they have been having is getting trophies onto these games, and getting permission for republishing these games. It's kind of been a bottleneck in the pipeline.
Okay.
So, fuck you, Mark, and your trophies. I guess the bottom line here is PSN kind of a bit of a bummer right now, and I guess it kind of sucks. Even though the PS4 is doing well, it's not giving Sony much of an incentive to really go above and beyond. So I think we'll end it there.
They don't have to try.
Exactly.
They don't have to try, and people don't get that. Like, they don't have to try anymore. And I'm like, do I blame them? No, I don't blame them at all.
We'll be ending on a somber note then. Wipes tear away.
Aww.
Star. Well. We'll leave it at that, folks. This has been SonyCentric, the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast. If we did a good job, like the video. If we didn't, feel free to dislike it. We'll blame Keith, because he's not here right now.
Even if he was here, we'd blame Keith.
Damn, y'all foul.
Yo, one does not simply fuck with Keith.
That's true.
And as always, if you are seeking more content from the Outer Haven, go to the Outer Haven Net on YouTube.com. Check out www.theouterhaven.net to read our articles, our reviews. Plug. This has been Jason Kwasnicki, your host, and we were joined by Mark and Navigator Bowman, Clinton Bowman, senior editor.
Yay!
No goodbye, Mark?
Oh, I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Were you even listening to what I'm saying?
Of course I was listening. I was... Oh, goodbye.
God damn it, Mark. Peace out, internet.
See ya.